Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday. I know that's not a thing, but when we're here talking Royal Caribbean on Monday, it is a thing, guys. It is worth celebrating. Welcome. The last day in August. Can you believe September is here tomorrow? My goodness. Matt M is here. What's up, Matt? Great name. Sophie Burns is here. Powerful female. Hello. Caitlin. How are you, Caitlin? Nicholas Gann is here. Pam DeFields Johnson is here. Hello, Toya. Hello, Travis. Hello, Brent Harkin. Carlos, how are you? Gary Miola Jr. is here. Grace is also joining us. Hello, Jane, Chance, Kara. All our friends are here. This is awesome, guys. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube. My name is Matt. I'm from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Every Monday, we are live with you right here on YouTube to hang out and talk about what I think is the most important thing in the whole wide world, which, of course, is going on a Royal Caribbean cruise, right? I got Javon in the house watching Cruise Ship Killers. Oh, I can't believe you watched that show. Robert Jaworski is here. Diane, hello. Travis Frost from Australia. I got a lot of Aussies in here. Laura O'Donnell, the pride of Aruba, this week is here. Hope you're having a great time down in Aruba. Laura, you're home away from home. That's not a cruise ship. Keith Bruce is here. Hello, Susan. Hello, Pam. Pamela Morton, feels like summer is over here in Baltimore. Really? You mean it's not 1,000 degrees every day by you like it is down here? Man, we won't get a break from summer weather until like Thanksgiving at the earliest here in Florida, but yeah, it is what it is. Hello, April from Omaha. Hello, Joette. What's going on? Damien. Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. We got people from all over the Caribbean, all over the world checking in. Australia, Aruba, Trinidad, New Jersey. I mean, man, a lot of people around here. So thanks for joining us here on this YouTube Live. And you know what we do here, guys? Every Monday, yeah, we have some fun, but we also answer your cruise questions. So if there's something on your mind you want to talk about, like Bill Schmidt's got a question for me, we're going to answer that right now. Bill says, so we're sailing on Independence of the Seas January 2nd, 2021. What's up? It's a good question, Bill. I mean, like any sailing, guys. Bill, no matter if it's you're sailing in January, sailing in November, sailing in July of next year, there is no way to certainly know what is or not going to happen. There's just too many variables, not enough information to really get the answer to your question. So it basically, we're all just waiting. It's just hurry up and wait. And we're all in this like just waiting mode, quite frankly. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but there is no other answer, my friend. We're just kind of, you got to assume your cruise is going until you hear otherwise. That's really, really all there is right now. Carlos, been going through all my cruise photos last week. Really makes me wish I was on a cruise ship anywhere right now, right? Absolutely. Nothing but sports. Any news on Wonder of the Seas? Nothing recently, nothing but sports. The only news really to report, and you probably already know this, is that Wonder is delayed until sometime in 2022. But beyond that, don't know. Caitlin, best thing to do in La Badee. I love getting a cabana. Cabanas, really great. If you happen to be staying in a suite, I really love Barefoot Beach. Fantastic spot. But let me put it this way, Caitlin. When we go to La Badee, every single time our go-to is get a cabana for the day. Love it. It's worth the money, in my opinion. Kirk wants to know, what's the best month for Alaska cruise and which ship if you bring a 9 to 13-year-olds? You want a Quantum class ship, so either Quantum or Ovation of the Seas. Best month, I mean, if you're talking about, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that constitute best, right? You're talking about best price, best weather. If you want the best price, you're talking about May or June sailings. If you, maybe September. If you're looking for the best weather, there's a good argument to be made about July. But I like the weather in June quite a bit as well. A little bit better prices also that time of year. So it's a good question. And for the 9 to 13-year-olds, trust me, dude, Ovation of the Seas or Quantum of the Seas, you will not regret it. Jeff Prose is here. What's up? Scott Wood, favorite port to sail out of? Oh, wow. I think Miami is now the easiest port to get in and out of. Their new terminal is amazing. It's a pretty cool sail away as well. I've always liked Port of Tampa sail away. Nice coming down that channel. It's really pretty. I've heard some great things about New Orleans, and you basically cruise down the Mississippi River for a couple hours before actually making it out to the sea, which is kind of a little bit. It's kind of neat, a little unique in there. So But the one I've been to, I think Miami right now has got the best sail away. David Rogers, any news on the terminal in Galveston? Nothing, David, since a couple of months ago when basically the terminal's been delayed by a year. Beyond that, no new news to share, my friend. Is it true that Royal Caribbean will be scrapping or selling some of the ships? No. Royal Caribbean has not announced anything to that effect. Everything you've probably heard has been just rumors and speculation. People just guessing and making things up, quite frankly. But not for Royal Caribbean. Other cruise lines, yes, but not Royal Caribbean. Paul, coming about 90 days. How far will they cancel cruise so I can cancel air hotel? There is no set time frame, Paul. You wouldn't be the first person to make final payment, and then, a couple weeks later, boom, the cruise gets canceled. But yeah, there's no, let me put it this way, Paul. If I were you, I would make my final payment for the cruise, but I would really hold off on airfare and hotels until the bitter end. And the reason being is there's not that much demand for it. I don't think you're going to run into too many problems trying to get a flight or a hotel. So, try to hold off until it's absolutely necessary to truly make a decision. Of course, you know this already, Paul, but, even after you make final payment, you still have the Cruise with Confidence program. You're able to cancel for any reason up to 48 hours. You get a future cruise credit. And of course, if Royal Caribbean cancels the cruise on you, well then, Paul, you've got other options like lift and shift and of course, a refund as well, on top of bonus future cruise credit. Nicholas is just on my online check-in for cruise in November. I noticed the time on the arrival that we can select. The latest is 5 p.m. past the sailing time. Weird. Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that, Nicholas. I mean, the check-in times were always like suggestions, but it is intriguing that you put that 5 p.m. is an option there, Nicholas. Your cruise is in November, huh? I might have to, that's interesting. If you don't mind, can you send me a screenshot of the options of the times? I'm just curious. Send it to matt@royalcaribbeanblog.com. Earl, hey Matt, I miss being able to book a next cruise with $100 deposits. Is Royal Caribbean doing that online or the phone? No, that's really like one of the few promos Royal Caribbean doesn't do anymore, other than, of course, on the ship. They rarely, if ever, recently anyway, in the last couple of years, have not offered discounts on deposits. Yeah, it's one of the things they don't do. John Stump is here. We did Ovation last year in Alaska on September 6th. Lots of stuff for kids to do. Yeah, the Quantum class ships, you can't go wrong, especially for kids, right? So, Randy Jackson, any news on the CDC guidelines that was due by tomorrow from the panel? Nothing. I have reached out to Royal Caribbean to ask them for more information, but I don't know if I'll get an answer on that one yet. I suspect, to be perfectly honest with you, that, listen, this is an internal deadline, and what that really means is, the Healthy Sail Panel theoretically was supposed to get their findings, their recommendations to the cruise lines by, theoretically, the end of business today, but the cruise lines still have to internalize it and come up with, how they're going to publish all that information. Javon with a super chat! Javon, thank you so much! Javon writes, tips for cruising during spring break in the Caribbean on an Oasis class ship. I would approach it like any other cruise, Javon. The fact is, you're going on a 7-night cruise. You're not going to get really many spring breakers like, woo, spring break. Like, they're not going on 7-night cruises on an expensive ship. They'll be on the shorter cruises. So, don't have to worry too much about that. Otherwise, it's really, I think it's more just planning 101s type stuff. I don't know if there's anything different that I would do for a Oasis class ship. Pre-plan as much as you can. You already know that. Pre-book your entertainment, make reservations for dining, those kinds of things I think are pretty much straightforward. And again, all these things, so I'm not really, dropping any truth bombs here. But, I just don't know that there's much else. You'll have more families on board because maybe it'll be, school spring break, families going on vacation for the week. But, it's family cruise line to begin with. So the fact that there will be children on board is not indifferent because there's always kids on board Royal Caribbean cruises. So. Gracie, what room and ship would you recommend for a family of 4 on a budget? Great question, Gracie. Great question. Family of 4 on a budget. I would look at the Voyager class. I think the Voyager class ships, Gracie, are the best value in the fleet right now. So we're talking about Mariner of the Seas. We're talking about Navigator of the Seas. We're talking about Explorer, Adventure, and Voyager of the Seas. So I would look there. And in terms of rooms, I think the best value is actually 2 connecting inside rooms. You'll get the best price. You get 2 different rooms, 2 bathrooms, connecting rooms. As a parent, you'll love it, having that separation but still being together. And again, the Voyager class, you're not compromising on the ship, right? It's still a big ship, plenty to do on there that you'll have a lot of fun with. So I think that's definitely the way to go. Jack, is the water park on Coco Key worth it? If you can get the price under, I mean, I would say at least $100 a person. Yeah, I mean, I was just looking, Jack, I was looking at my cruise on Harmony of the Seas in the spring for our spring break cruise. So that's in March of 21. And I think it's like $140 a person, which is a lot of money for the water park. Like, per person, $140 per person. I mean, that's a lot, you know? But you might look at that. One thing you want to look at, Jack, if you have like 4 or more people, instead of buying individual passes, look at the Thrill Water Park Cabana, because the Thrill Water Park Cabana includes admission for up to 6 people into the water park. That's a far better value right there. John, what's a future cruise credit? It's a voucher. It is a IOU. Instead of getting a refund or in lieu of getting a refund, you get a voucher that you can use towards future travel. So it's worth a certain amount of money, and you apply it. That's it. It's as good as cash. So, hello, Mark the Shark. Hello, Shantra Williams. Welcome. Trina is here. If I pay for a cruise with a future cruise credit, then it gets canceled, and I lift and shift it, does the future cruise credit stay with the reservation, or do they reissue it so I can use it on other things that will happen sooner? Yes. So, good question, Trina. If you use a future cruise credit, that's always with your resi. So if it gets canceled, regardless of what you do with it, lift and shift or what have you, you will, if Royal Caribbean cancels the cruise, that FCC gets reissued back to you, and of course any cash you paid on top of that future cruise credit, that comes back to you as a refund or another future cruise credit if you so choose. Bobby and Christy are here. Hello, Bobby and Christy. Hello, Joe from Fort Lauderdale. Welcome. Pam loved Explorer more than Harmony. Well, let's not get carried away here. I mean, it's a great ship, but, you know. Paul, are the dinners and buffet choices the same across the fleet? Dinner in the main dining room, yes. Almost always, yes. The buffet can have a little variation. There's definitely some differences. There are some core elements. Like, you'll always have, like, burgers, hot dogs, and pizza in the buffet. Always there. But there are a little bit of, like, in the Windjammer, there's a little bit of variation there, Paul. Not a lot, but enough that you might be like, hey, remember on that other ship there was like that one dish? And yeah, but it's more similar than it's not. Let's put it that way. Joe Johnson, have you ever heard that you are charged port fees and taxes again when you lift and shift before your cruise is canceled? I have not, Joe. Why would you be charged again? Unless, of course, Joe, you're going to more ports. Let's face it. This is not a Royal Caribbean cost. This is one they're just passing on to you. If you go from like an itinerary that has 3 ports and you're going to 4 ports now, you're paying more. You have to pay that other one. So that could make sense. Now Mark the Shark. Now I know exactly who you are, Mark Hunter. It's just water, dude. Just water. Let's see here. What other questions have we got here? Joe says, drove by Port Everglades today. Sure miss all the cruises being there, right? Kathy Drew. Hello, Kathy. Hope you're doing well. Joette says, keep hoping that San Pedro does open next year. Florida has so many cruises. Will give us some cruise options to go on the West Coast. Joette, you know, cruising from the West Coast is something a lot of people would love to see. Heck, I'd love to see it as well. But I think the bottom line is, now this is all pre-COVID, the answer I'm about to give you, so keep that in mind. But pre-COVID, the reason why Royal Caribbean does not cruise out of the West Coast, primarily, there's other reasons as well, but the primary reason is they make more money with those ships somewhere else in the world than they do in sailing out of Los Angeles. Not that they can't make money there, it's that they're making more money. And if you ask me, those 2 places that are driving ships, that are driving prices higher than outside of LA is going to be Australia and China, primarily China. The rise of cruising there in those 2 regions have sucked away ships that would have otherwise maybe been on the West Coast. But they're definitely, Royal Caribbean is definitely overdue for a ship to return to the West Coast, Joette, but it ain't gonna be like in the near future, unfortunately. So it's I know there's a lot of people on the West Coast who would love to have anything over there. I mean, you guys have some ships, but a Royal Caribbean ship, right? You're not Sherry from Cruise Ships TV. You want good ships over there, right? I understand that. Carl, do you think they'll be cruising from Miami in February 2021? It's a good question, my friend. I have honestly no idea. Mark Hamill's here. Book the Junior Suite. Do I get double Crown Anchor points? Yes. Do they offer you any other discounts or things that's staying in that room? To some extent, yes, Mark. You're going to get double Crown Anchor points. At check-in, you will get a special line just for, you get to go to the suite line, so make sure you follow that one. For disembarkation, the last day of the cruise, you also get a special way to get off the ship, so look for that as well. In addition, you get a full-size bathtub. You'll get a walk-in closet, and you will get, you get a large room. You already knew that. but you'll also get upgraded toiletries in the bathroom. So instead of getting the mystery, we actually still get the mystery liquid on the wall. You also get little bottles of stuff to use. So enjoy that one. Mark, when is Allure coming to the States? She's coming back to the States, well, whenever this thing is over, theoretically. She was only supposed to be in Europe this summer anyway. So the itineraries you see forth, the fall, theoretically, it could be as early as November. Let's see. Andrew, I sailed out of San Diego on a cruise line that shall not be named. Look, desperate times. We all have our weak moments there. Carl, Royal Caribbean versus Fred Olsen. I know nothing about Fred Olsen. I can tell you this much though. Fred Olsen is a European cruise line. I'm pretty sure it's a British cruise line, but European cruise lines in general have a very different approach. I mean, they're similar. Don't get me wrong. It's not like everyone wears clown outfits and balances their meals on their nose as they walk down the hallways. It's not crazy, but I think the general approach or motif of cruising in Europe the basic motif or approach of cruise lines in Europe versus cruise lines in the United States is a little different. And this is a generalization I'm about to give, so keep that in mind. But American cruise lines tend to include a little bit more with what you pay in your cruise fare. European lines tend to be a little bit cheaper, but it's more Spartan in what they provide you. Again, generalization. I really know nothing about Fred Olsen cruises, so I have no business really giving you any kind of comparison. I can just tell you, Carl, the basics between American cruise lines and non-American cruise lines, if you will. Andrew, once and done, Royal Caribbean ever since. Good man. Good man. At least you saw the way. Scott, wish they would do 4-nighters or anything out of Charleston. Scott, I know that Carnival has thought about doing that, but I mean, it's just not going to, it's all about dollars and cents at the end of the day, right? And Port Canaveral is not that far from you. I mean, yeah, it's not in your backyard. Trust me, I get that. I get annoyed when I have to drive more than an hour to my cruise, and I live in Florida, right? So it's all relative. But at the end of the day, your Royal Caribbean will never draw in Charleston like they will in any other port. It's all about dollars and cents at what we're talking about here. And when you talk about the Southeast as a cruising area, Georgia, South Carolina, even North Carolina, the drive to Florida is not unreasonable. It's pretty common, and clearly it's demonstrated that people are willing to do that. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, of course, Matt, but I'd rather have the cruise in Charleston. Of course. But Charleston is further away from the Caribbean ports than obviously any of the Florida ports. There's a reason why Florida is the preeminent cruise destination, and it has nothing to do with, many other factors. It's really about geography, among other things. But it's geography. It's the closest state to the Bahamas, so it's less fuel, less costs. You can go further from a ship that's closer to your port. So all that plays in. Again, not the answer you want to hear, but I gotta keep it real over here. Barb loves cruising. What's up, Barb? I sail in April and the ship is completely booked. If they're sailing with 40%, how will they choose to sail? It's a good question, Barb. No one knows the answer to that question yet. It will be answered eventually, Barb, but nobody knows the answer to that one. So we're just waiting and seeing. Anybody tells you otherwise, Barb, just making it up. They have no idea because Royal Caribbean hasn't said anything. Other cruise lines may or may not have policies related to that, but Royal Caribbean has not said a thing about it. So I am sure that's one of the many, many, many policies and procedures they're going to be looking at to ensure that when they are ready to announce it, they address those kind of questions. Carol, wouldn't it be nice if Royal Caribbean gave Crown Anchor members points for their cruise that was canceled? Yeah, it'd be nice, but that dilutes the value of the system, right? I mean, if you book a flight on an airline and they cancel the flight or you don't go on it, whatever the case may be, you don't get the points for that, right? When you start giving away points, it doesn't mean as much. I'm kind of okay. Listen, while I love a freebie as much as anybody, I'm kind of okay with not getting points for canceled cruises because, again, if everybody's diamond, it's not that, and it doesn't make it special anymore, I know some people are going to disagree with me. That's okay too. But I think not giving points for canceled cruises actually makes a lot of sense. Randy Patrick with an epic super chat. Woo! Randy, 450 days till the 2021 Thanksgiving Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruise on Harmony of the Seas. We're getting there, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Keep us motivated, Matt. Randy, my brother, can't wait for that cruise, man. Oh. If I could have a time machine, just go right to Thanksgiving next year, count me in, man. I am so ready. Is Allure or Anthem coming to Galveston? Allure is eventually coming to Galveston, but not for another year. And Jane Smith with a super chat. I think that might have been a back-to-back super chat between Randy and Jane. Thank you, Jane, for your super chat. Matt is the best. Aw, shucks. Come on now. Come on now. You're being too nice to me. Anne Marie Stackhouse is here, booked on Odyssey in May. Do you think that's happening? Boy, you know what, Anne Marie, I have no idea. I say because it's kind of like asking me, Matt, I want to play the lotto on Saturday. What number should I play that'll actually win? Like, I feel like, I hate to say it, I feel like the chances of me accurately giving you a prediction about when cruising, wherever it might happen or not happen, is probably the same level of accuracy of me giving you winning lotto numbers. There's just not enough information out there, Anne Marie. So it's just, I got to be real with you. There's just nobody, and I mean this, nobody knows when cruising will actually resume. You can certainly guess or, assume certain things, but you're just doing that. There's not enough information out there. Nancy Moore, can I turn a future cruise credit for a refund due to health reasons? Up until a certain point, yes, although it depends how you get the credit, Nancy. So number one, if your cruise was canceled by Royal Caribbean, you took the future cruise credit, then yes, up to a certain point, there's a date, a magic date, in which you can convert it over to a refund, yes. If you haven't passed that date, no problem at all. If you got your future cruise credit because you canceled the cruise through the Cruise with Confidence program and got a 100% future cruise credit, you cannot exchange that for a refund. Let's see here. Nicholas, any idea when Royal Caribbean will relist cruises for Wonder? I have no idea, my friend. That's a really good question. If I do see that, I'll post it at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, but unfortunately, nope. Don't have any info on that. Mark Hamill, if you're cruising in the 7-night trip will finish your diamond goal, will they pin you then or next cruise? Next cruise, my friend. Next cruise. And Paul, would they change their point tiers if too many became diamond? A question along those lines, Paul, has come up a couple different times, and Royal Caribbean CEO Michael Bailey basically said, and I'm paraphrasing now at this point, there's already too many, there's already a lot of tiers, right? Most other cruise lines don't have nearly as many tiers as Royal Caribbean does. You reach a point where it starts getting overly complicated for no purpose. So the short answer is no, but things can change. Who knows about that, right? Robert Jaworski, what are the winning lottery numbers? All right, you want the winning lottery numbers here, guys? Here we go. 9, 17, 21, 23, 33, and your Powerball number is 8. Just came to me in my head. Daryl Pompey, will Royal Caribbean ever cruise to Charleston? We kind of talked about that. They do offer some sailings that stop in Charleston, but actually sailing from Charleston, I don't see that happening anytime soon, quite frankly. Not that I know anything more than you guys do, but just saying. And let's see here. Andy, if you win, Matt gets commission. Yeah, a mere $1 million. That's all I ask for. Please, keep the rest of it to yourselves. I will. Robert, I would be interested to see how much of that Diamond Lounge will function when we finally start. Yeah, I mean, like so many things, Robert, there's going to be, when cruises start, day one, there's going to be one set of policies. When cruising goes to the next month, there'll be probably another set of policies, right? 6 months, a new set, and maybe a year from now, who knows, maybe it'll all be back to normal. It remains to be seen how much, how little, when, and where it will all change. But at this point, Robert, I'm ready for it. I had a dream last night that I was on Independence of the Seas for a back-to-back-to-back cruise, and it was like my first cruise back. So I don't know if that's a premonition, and I neglected to pick up a newspaper to see what day it was, like to get the date on it, but that was my dream last night. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a sign, or is that just my brain starting to go, and it was that or playing third base for the New York Yankees in the World Series, the usual kind of dreams I have. Nicholas, I noticed Royal Caribbean doesn't have cruises to Dubai already. Yeah, Royal Caribbean kind of pulled that into Dubai due to some issues with Iran primarily. There was too much problems in the region, so they just pulled out of there. Do you always pick odd number except for the Powerball? Do I? I'm just making it up, so I... No idea. Josh is here. What's up, Matt? First time catching you live. Josh, welcome. My name is Matt. I am from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here. Appreciate it. David Duell wants to know, have you ever heard from vegans how the food is on Royal Caribbean? Absolutely. I have cruised with, now they're not vegans, they are vegetarians, so full disclosure. But number one, I have cruised with a number of times with some good friends of mine who are vegetarians, actually Billy from cruisehabit.com, and they've always said it's really, really good. There's a lot of great choices there. I have talked to a number of vegans who I know, and as well as, in various chats and what have you, and I would definitely characterize it as very good support. In fact, Royal Caribbean rolled out, I think it was last year, maybe even a year before that, a new vegan menu in the dining room. So there's a standing vegan menu as opposed to a vegan menu that was kind of just like, well, let me know what you want to make and we'll have it over there. So, but very, very good. Traveling with Hayden, what's better, Mariner or Navigator? Both excellent ships. I've sailed on both of those a couple different times. In fact, I've sailed on Mariner a lot. They're excellent. I like them both for different reasons. I might prefer Navigator a smidge more than I would Mariner, but I do love the fact that Mariner has Izumi Hibachi and Navigator does not. But I think Navigator's water slides are better. I love the lime and coconut pool deck area. So that's why I give a slight edge to Navigator, but they're both excellent. Trust me, my friend, you would not be making a mistake by going on either one. Do you think Empress and Majesty get the scrap? Not anytime soon. No. I mean, Royal Caribbean said so. I've asked them a couple times, and they both tell me every single time. Nope. What's your favorite dessert while cruising? Tony Diaz. What's up, Tony? My favorite dessert, well, first of all, I'm a sucker for coffee ice cream, so that's always my number one. And my other favorite dessert is going to be the red velvet cake from Chops Grill. It is a classic. I get it every time. It's so good, even if I just nibble on it. Oh, it's so good. Love it. Thomas Hooley is here. Thomas, thanks for recently becoming a Royal Caribbean Blog Insider. Unless there's somebody else with the exact same name as you, then this is awkward. Thomas, welcome. I have a back-to-back on Vision of the Seas in January, if it goes. I've never done a back-to-back on the same ship. Do you have to take all your luggage off the ship? No. Thomas, so if you have the same room for both sailings, you don't have to do anything. You just leave it in your room. You're good to go, man. If you are changing rooms from sailing 1 to sailing 2, talk to your stateroom attendant on sailing 1. Depending on your stateroom attendant, you'll be able to, two things will happen. One of two things will happen. One, your stateroom attendant will tell you, okay, leave all your stuff like on the bed, leave the hangers in there, I'll come and I'll move it for you. In which case, you give him a giant tip at that point. Number 2, he'll say, leave all your stuff on the bed, and then after you come back for cruise number 2, come and get it and move it. Up to you. But no, you don't take it off the ship. No. Jamie's here. So Matt, when you kick into the song in one of these live chats, what does the wife think you are, in a soundproof or are you in a soundproof room? Far from a soundproof room. My wife is so used to me acting like an idiot that it doesn't even faze her anymore. It's like somebody living near a construction zone. Eventually you just start to tune it out, and she auto-tunes me out just on her iPad. Just like, oh my God, I married an idiot, but whatever. No. Hello. Anyone here can help me with this? What's the best way to socialize with people living in the Caribbean when living in Europe? Is there a popular chat or something? Boy, do I have no idea. I mean, in the grand scheme of cruises, I have no idea. But maybe a message board or forum. I don't know. Larry, what do you think is a good time to start booking for next year? The conventional wisdom, Larry, is always book as early as you can. I understand the concern, because obviously you're really asking me, when should I start booking a cruise for next year, keeping in mind, of course, that we don't know when cruises will actually restart. The good news is, even if you book a cruise like today for a cruise for next year, listen, refunds are flowing. They've really gotten it down to a science now in terms of getting these refunds out there. So there's very little risk involved in terms of booking stuff. But my advice to you is, I wrote a blog post about this, I think the other day, but number 1, look at the price. Monitor the price. Look at it. If you're looking at a cruise probably more than 3 to 6 months away from now, you probably won't see many price variations. It'll probably be fairly steady there. But keep an eye on it. Keeping in mind, by the way, one other thing. You could put a deposit down for a cruise that's more than 90 days away sometime in next year, and you can always take that back immediately up till final payment date. So there's very little risk until you get the final payment date, and then you have to kind of decide what you want to do. So book refundable cruise fare, number 1. Number 2, monitor the price. Look for price discrepancies, and if you start seeing some movement, start going up, okay, maybe that's the time you book then. But putting a deposit down, it's a very low risk, low cost way to ensure that you lock in your price, your ship, your room, and your itinerary. And like I said, if you have it later in 21, again, there's not a whole lot you're laying out there, because up until final payment date, No problem. Kim Oakland with a giant epic super chat. Woo! Hey, Matt, I was working in school all day to come out with a health report today. Hello, Kim. No, they did not. Don't worry. I'm on top of it, Kim. I already sent Royal Caribbean an email about that. I don't know if I'll get an answer to it. Sometimes they don't respond to me. But I am curious, hey, is there a new timeline? But no, there has been no announcement yet. Now, for all I know, they may announce it at 9 o'clock tonight or 6 a.m. tomorrow. I don't know. But no, we've not heard anything. And Dan Matrano with a back-to-back giant epic super chats. Woo! Woo! Thank you, Dan, for the super chats. Keeping positive for December 27th, Oasis. Wish the rest of my group was as optimistic. Dan, I'm going to tell you this, my friend. I'm going on the record. Guys, chat, on the record. I haven't even talked this with my wife. She's already going to come in here and give me a look. If your cruise goes, Dan, I'll book it with you. I'll be on there for you. Sure, why not? I'll be on there. I'll book it. If it goes. So that's, I don't know if that's a kiss of death or a good thing, but I'm all behind you because I want to go on that cruise as well. Brogan is here. Do you know when they will expand the chat feature of the Royal Caribbean app to more of the fleet? I do not, my friend. I do not. You know, there might have been a timeline before COVID. I think that all is out the door, my friend. There is no new timeline. It is all just like, well, back to the drawing board. AV Geek, does Symphony have a pool in the solarium? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Krakens all around, Dan says. I love it. Adrian, does Royal Caribbean do any around-the-world cruises? They do not, Adrian. They do not. The closest they ever get, Adrian, is a repositioning cruise. I would characterize it as like when a new ship comes out of Europe. Like Spectrum of the Seas did this. Wonder of the Seas theoretically may do this as well, where she'll start off in Europe, because that's where the ship is being built. And then you can book a couple different consecutive cruises that will take you from Europe, through the Med, through the Suez Canal, cross India, cross Asia, and then eventually somewhere into China, and that'll be the end of the cruise right there. You could do that, but that's about as close as they get. And that last time they did that, I think it was like something like 50-something nights. If you combine, they break it into separate sailings, but you can book them all together and do it that way. Let's see here. Oh, Ken Lesko is on the same cruise. All right, so it's going to be Dan, me, and Ken. I like it. I love it. Let's see here. AV Geek, I recently accidentally came across an itinerary where Mariner had a world voyage from Asia to the Caribbean. I think that might have been like years ago when Mariner was in Asia, but Mariner's been in the Caribbean now for a number of years. She ain't going anywhere. Nicole Robinson, hello Nicole. Just think of how magical all your first cruises back will be. Like the usual feeling of waking up at the gangway, but times a million. Nicole, I couldn't agree with you more. Listen, you know what they say, right? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And in the case of cruising, you know, listen, I've been on 2 cruises already this year, January and February. And for most people, that's about one more cruise they ever do in a year, right? But for me, it feels like a lifetime because I'm usually going on a cruise every, couple months at the worst, right? But to Nicole's point, when cruising does begin, for people like us, eccentric cruisers who love to go, my God, it's going to feel like Christmas, birthday, anniversary, New Year's Eve, and winning the lottery, like all wrapped in one, man. It's going to be like the most amazing. It's going to feel like, that scene from Frozen 1, where they open up the castle gates for the first time in forever. There's buffets everywhere for the first time in forever. We're gonna go on a cruise somewhere. Right? Hello?
Well, why did you just do that?
Because sometimes I like to sing Frozen songs.
No.
Do you want to build a snowman?
No, you don't.
Run up and down the halls.
You don't.
You know we never get to cruise anymore.
No.
We used to be best buddies, but then you had to stop letting me cruise. Do you want to go? Do you want to go on a cruise? Okay, bye. Brandy, can I... Shh, put down. Can I lift and shift my June cruise? My school district changed the school schedule to go to July at the last minute. Yes, Brandy, you can up plus or minus 4 weeks, of course, per the rules, but you should have no problem, right? So, Sega, hope you're doing great. I am. What can you tell me about the Oasis of the Sea, especially Camp Ocean, Adventure Ocean, and the Teen Club was going to spend a 13th birthday, but COVID said no. I'm sorry to hear that. Great ship, great Adventure Ocean. Oasis just got a brand new take on Adventure Ocean. Like, they revamped the entire program. It's fantastic. You like Adventure Ocean, right, on Oasis with Mr. T-Rex? Yeah. They did a great job. It's like top-notch, best in the fleet right now. You will love it. Brogan, have you ever been on an adventure this season? I have not. I've been on our sister ships, Brogan. Explorer, Mariner, and Navigator, but never Adventure, or Voyager for that matter. But Voyager class ships are great. Things to know, Brogan. Adventure is the only Royal Caribbean ship that has, the only Voyager class ship and Royal Caribbean ship that has an Izumi location in the Promenade. Kind of an interesting spot for that. It has water slides. You've got the Peekaboo Bridge, which I think is still on there. I don't think they got rid of it on that one. I could be wrong on that. Basically, there's an area you can go in the front of the ship to look into the bridge. If it's still there, definitely want to check that out. But it's a great ship. You'll love Voyager class. Really, really nice. So, Jane, I want a 7-day out of Galveston, maybe March. Well, then your only choice, Jane, is going to be the Liberty of the Seas. Paul, how do you explain your job when it's your parents' day at your daughter's school? My daddy is a big nerd. Tony Diaz with a big giant super chat. Woo!
Not true.
You got, it says this. They gave you $20, Aubrey. It says, for your daughter, who I agree with, stop singing. Oh, thanks, Tony. Joe, did you teach your daughter her dance moves? No, this is all her or YouTube. They want to know where'd you learn your dance moves from?
Myself.
See? So, any tips for tricks for teen cruisers going on their first cruise? Number one, you want to go to, it's just like the first day of school. Go to the teen club on day one. Meet everybody. If you go there after day one, the cliques form and all the friendship circles, you'll be the weird new kid. So go on day one, so that way everybody's a new kid. That's the biggest one. And we got some big super chats coming in. Christy Meyer, woo! With the super chat, you are amazing. Thank you, Christy. And Mrs. Thomas with the super chat. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. My daughter found out about our cruises. Oh, well, I'm able to move our February 2nd cruise up 2 weeks without a penalty. Nice.
Cruise!
You're going to blow out their eardrums. You can't yell into the microphone. AV, when you compare it to the first day of school, it makes it a little more reluctant. It's just a metaphor. Don't read too much into it. But basically, think about it. First day of the cruise, no one knows each other, right? You're all just random people on a cruise ship. So if it's the first day, you kind of all just start, there's going to be icebreaker games and things to help, kind of get to know each other. I just think it's the best approach is to be there on the first day so you can meet everybody. And, again, you'll form friends. It'll be great. It's not going to be weird because unlike school where there's, reputations and all these other nonsense you get there's no drama in real, well, there might be, but I highly doubt there's nearly as much drama as there is in a high school. So I think you'll have a great time on there. Just go on day one. That's the most important thing I can say right there. Harold, Healthy Sales panel recommendations was to come out by the end of August. How long before we hear anything? Harold, I don't know. It's a good question. I reached out to Royal Caribbean already. I don't know if I'll get an answer about it, but yeah, you're right. You are correct, and you've not missed it, my friend. We have not heard anything about that. Jonathan, is a cruise ship available at May 1st, 21? Yeah, dude, just contact a travel agent, go to Royal Caribbean's website. You can book one over there. There are definitely cruises to book in all of 21 and into early 2022. Carlos, curious, would you ever consider cruising on one of the new Richard Branson Virgin cruises, or do you only cruise with Royal Caribbean? Listen, I only cruise with Royal Caribbean. I think at some point I would like to try some other cruise lines just to compare and contrast. I think that's healthy to do that. It's a good way to kind of see where the whole industry is sitting, because at the end of the day, I recognize that there are things that every cruise line has advantages and disadvantages, including Royal Caribbean. So I wouldn't mind trying it, but I'm not going out of my way to book it. Does that make sense? Like at some point I will, but I'm not going to be like, OMG, I want to go book it immediately. I'll just for everything Virgin Cruises, I always check out what Emma has to say about it. She just loves that Virgin Cruises. Joe S. is here. Any updates from Royal Caribbean as to what ships will be considered for restart or timeline? Negative, sir. No updates to share. But I'm glad you're here, Joe. Welcome. Mark, good overnight hotel for San Juan, Puerto Rico. Sheridan, Old San Juan is the way to go. Do you think Royal Caribbean will ever do a world cruise, Jeanette? No, I mean, not as ever, but not anytime soon. It's not really their shtick. Let's see here. These are really good questions, by the way. Sorry, I missed Robert's question here. Oh, no. Oh, Robert says, to compensate for 2020, I have 5 cruises booked for 2021 compared to 1 per 2 per year. I'm giving you 1. No, wait. 2 thumbs ups. Nice job, dude. Love that. Brogan should be on Anthem right now. Don't play that game, man. It's a terrible game. Don't do the where should I be right now game. It's never good. Pam should be sailing to Alaska on Serenade today. Yikes. Thanks for helping me cope with the disappointment. Well, I'm sorry to hear you won't be on your cruise, but let's hope that you'll be able to get there because I think you'll like that quite a bit. It's just, eventually you'll make it back, but we're here to support you. So, yeah, I've been there, done that. Missed my Alaska cruise already this year as well. It doesn't get any easier, but take it one day at a time. Lucille, can I get Crown Anchor credit from a cruise back that I took in 1996 on Song of America if I call customer service? Yes, you can. Yes, absolutely. Give them a call. Sure. As long as you know the ship date, the name of the ship, your name, they'll be able to look you up in there. Absolutely. April, which ship is better for kids under 10? Mariner or Navigator? Same difference. There's no difference. For kids under 10, you can make an argument, April, that Navigator has a very, very slight edge because Navigator's Adventure Ocean was upgraded. Their space was upgraded. I don't know that it's a giant difference, but I wouldn't go out if it's going to cost you more money or anything. They're both great. That's the only real difference I can tell you from that standpoint because their Adventure Ocean premium is a little different there, but they're both great ships. My kids have been in Mariner's Adventure Ocean a number of times. No problems at all. So. Ryan says, I want to go on a Mediterranean cruise for my high school graduation. Any recommendations? What a great idea, dude. I would say Western Med, great choice for you, where you're going to, you're going to Italy, places in Italy like Rome and France and Spain. Any ship that goes out of Barcelona to the Western Med, great choice. Or even going out of Rome, I can never say the name of it, Civitavecchia, something like that. That's also a good choice, but Western Med is good. Lots of ports, lots of things to do. I think as someone who just graduated, you'll be the perfect age for that. The Eastern Med is also great because the Greek Isles are absolutely beautiful. But I don't think you'll be making a mistake by going Greek Isles. But I just think I think there'd be more for you for your age in the Western Med. So, Andy, have you ever been to Curacao? Yes, a couple times. I just went most recently. I was just in Curacao in December of this 2019. The Ocean Channel, which ships will be scrapped? No Royal Caribbean ships are scheduled or announced to be scrapped at this time, my friend. Who was your cruise director on Harmony, Mark? I honestly don't remember, my friend. I don't recall. Ladybug, what ship has the play Greece? Greece is the word. It's on 2 ships, actually. Harmony of the Seas and Independence of the Seas. So it's on Harmony and Independence. Ex-Captain Mike, at what Crown and Anchor level do you start to get the good stuff? Good stuff. Where's that good stuff at? Diamond, I think, is what you're really talking about. Diamond, you get some what's it called? Not plat. Yeah, platinum. You get decent perks, but diamond, that's the good stuff. If you know what I mean. Wayne, how will a person be able to visit their favorite port store without having to go on a sponsored tour? Don't know yet, Wayne, because I know what you're referring to, but Royal Caribbean hasn't announced any new policies yet, how that's going to work. And the other thing, Wayne, of course, is that, a lot of these policies may be available in the short term, like as things progress, as the virus becomes less and less of an immediate issue. I think we'll see relaxation of some of these policies, but again, we don't yet know what the policy will be, nor, of course, answers to your kind of questions there. So, Ocean Channel, I think you said, what about MOTS? I think you mean Majesty of the Seas? Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. There are no plans, as of right now, for Royal Caribbean to scrap any of its cruise ships. Period. Jonathan, what areas in the cruise ship are closed due to COVID-19? We don't know yet, Jonathan. What if any will be? They haven't announced anything. Jeanette, is it true that we need a visa to start traveling to Italy starting in 21? I don't know the answer. That's a good question. I do not know that one. Very, very good question. I'm getting a text message. Odds are it is spam. Boy, I can't even repeat the message. On stream, it is inappropriate. Carlos, what did you say? As of right now, I mean, again, the scrapping rumors are just that. They're rumors, guys. I mean, something could change, but, you know, I think some people are looking at this like a broken clock. Like, you know, you can look at a broken clock and be like, well, it says it's 8:05. It's not 8:05, but eventually it will be 8:05. Aha, I was right. No, you were wrong up until it became 8:05. I don't know, but as of right now, nothing's been announced. And I've posted about that on the blog a couple different times. Jeff, which do you prefer, Harmony, Oasis, or Symphony, or does it matter much? It really doesn't matter much, Jeff. It's really doesn't matter much. My preference is Harmony. I love Harmony. I would rank them Harmony, Oasis, Symphony, Jeff, but trust me, dude, do not read into that beyond that. I mean, Symphony's a great ship. Love it. Would go on it 100 times if I could. Matthew Smith, whoo, with a British super chat. Blimey. Hello, Matt. Great to see you again. Thanks for everything you do. What's your opinion on photo packages? Are they worth the money versus taking your own pictures? And would you buy cruise planner items a year in advance? Great questions, Matt. Number one, what do I think about the photo packages? If you take the time to stop for the photos, like you go every day, you seek out the photographers, take the photos, yes, absolutely is worth the money, but you've got to take the effort to do it. If you're only taking like 5 or 7 photos, it ain't worth it. You know what I mean? So you got to look for those photos every day. You got to get dressed up for dinner. You got to go find them in the port. You got to take the time and stop for them. If you do that, absolutely worth the money. And the other question was, would you buy cruise planner items a year in advance? Absolutely. For the right price? Absolutely, my friend. Listen, prices fluctuate a lot on the cruise planner. And I know you don't want to overpay. I don't want to overpay for anything, right? So to that point, if you see a good price, something you're looking into, put it down there. You get your money back. You can always cancel at any time. So there's very little risk involved. And that's just it's a good strategy in general. Next question. Joe, if cruise lines make policy that require masks, I'm not sure I can really enjoy a vacation wearing a mask everywhere you go on the ship. Would you seriously consider canceling if this happens? I would not. At the end of the day, I want to go on a cruise ship. Number 2, Joe, I mean, we're talking about a hypothetical, and then what I would do based on a hypothetical. I mean, there's going to be some, even in Disney World, which has reopened and does require masks, people still enjoy it there. But that's your choice, Joe, and I respect that. I don't think you're wrong, you know what I mean? If that's not going to be your, it's if that's not your idea of vacation or relaxation or what have you, I don't blame you, you know what I mean? But it's hard to really also talk about an idea or a possibility until we actually have the full sense of details, right? Because we can throw out there, what if Royal Caribbean does this? But without the full scope of what that will actually look like, what are the rules, where will it be enforced, where will it not be enforced, we may as well talk about what happens when space aliens come down and how will that impact visits to the Caribbean. I know it's silly. Of course, it's very, very, it's absurd. But both are things that have not happened yet or been confirmed yet. So, do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I hesitate to kind of go down that road, because we don't know yet what that policy will look like. So, that's kind of why. Now, but on a very basic level, if masks are required while I go on a cruise, yes, I will, because I wear a mask going to Target. I wear a mask. I don't go to Target, but you know what I mean. I wear a mask anyway going out there. At the end of the day, I would rather be on a cruise ship with a mask than be wearing a mask at home or wherever I am around here. So, yeah, I would, but to each their own. Randy Patrick with another super chat. My goodness, Randy. Way too kind, my friend. Best place to watch Departure on Harmony. I think the pool deck. I like going on the upper pool deck. There's 2 pool decks. Go in the upper one, you get a little better views up there. Somewhere towards the mid-front, wherever you can find a spot. I don't think there's generally the bridge wing is the best place, Randy, but everyone and their mother will be there. And even if they weren't there, there's no shade. And you will melt if it's not December through February. So I prefer finding a shady spot on the pool deck to be able to watch there. You'll love it, my friend. So, Captain Mike says, I would wear a scuba suit to go on a cruise if needed, right? But guys, this isn't a debate about, masks or not. It seems premature to talk about or debate the virtues of a cruise with a mask or without a mask until we actually have the rules and the policies in place to be able to get the full picture of it. That's all. Because otherwise, we are going to come up with different ideas in our heads as to how that may or may not be implemented, and then It leads to bedlam, guys. No good things come out of that. Sari says, can a non-refundable deposit cruise fare be changed to refundable cruise fare? No, it cannot. You could cancel and then rebook, Sari, if you're before final payment, but you'd incur the fee, which would be kind of silly at that point. So the answer is no. Jamie, where does Symphony sail out of? Miami. Face of Truth. I can't wait until I can sail on my next cruise, but the current stipulation of employers making you to quarantine after leaving my country really puts a thorn in my dream. Who has that much PTO? I agree 100%. I think it's unfair, Face of Truth, quite frankly. I mean, I'm going to say this. It's not the morally... I don't know if it's even morally right or wrong. You don't have to tell them you left. Just saying. Nobody has to know except for you if you don't want them to, if you feel that confident about the situation. Just saying. I'm not telling you should do that. I'm just saying I'm not going to tell them if you don't.
He's crazy.
Any chance of some earlier lives for us Brits, Brogan? Yeah, we probably got to do that at some point. I would love to do that. Philip with a giant epic super check. Oh, and chat. Lava flow time. I have no lava flow ingredients, Philip. I wish I did, but I have. I have the rum. Important thing, priorities, but I don't have anything else. Jason Peterson, what's up, Jason? Any news on the Royal Caribbean Healthy Cell panel? Zip, zero, nada. Mike, once they come up with a reliable rapid test, I can see cruising coming back. Yeah, and you may have seen that blog post I did, Mike, last week, in which that rapid test there. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a two-pronged approach, at the very least, with this. Prevention, detection, right? Detection, the rapid testing. Prevention, the new policies in there. So I think you're absolutely right, Mike, about that one. And let's put it this way. There will be a more, even faster, more reliable test even after that. So yeah, absolutely. I think we've got just time for about one or two more questions because we're running up here on an hour of talking Royal Caribbean. My goodness, time flies when you have fun talking about Royal Caribbean, right? Imagine what's going to happen when there's actually cruises that go on here. We can talk about other things. It'll be great. Do you think there'll be fewer kids on a December 12th through 24th cruise? Yes. Obviously, a lot of kids are still in school up until the 24th. So yes, there will be less kids than on a cruise before that, or after that, I should say. All right, and one more question, and it's going to be, let's see.
End.
Then it'll be the end. You're right, and then you have to go to bed. Mark, check out the Port Miami webcam. You'll love it. I'll have to check it out. Absolutely. Tony Diaz, when cruising starts, I can go back to being miserable. Oh, Tony. Would love to do another Kahoot quiz again. We would definitely do that on Periscope on one of the other days there. So, Ocean Channel, my plan is to go on a cheap Carnival Paradise cruise for the first cruise, and if I like it, Majesty will be my next one. Not a terrible choice, I suppose. So, guys, thanks for joining us here. Really appreciate you spending time hanging out with me, talking Royal Caribbean. Really appreciate it. I got to go put my kids to bed. So, in the meantime, when we're not here live on YouTube, be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. There are 3 new blog posts up at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com already for you to check on out. So give that a read if you haven't seen them. Read up those posts. Posted this weekend. We have our message boards, podcast episodes. There's plenty more to keep you busy between now and our next live broadcast. We're live here every Monday, so don't miss out on that. I think I'm going to take Philip's advice. I'm going to have an adult beverage following this broadcast. Guys, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy. Stay safe out there, but do something fun. That's very, very important. Keep it real, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.